In this episode, we got a pretty fun little indie movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't on our planned watch list, but, we came across it and thought, oh, this looks fun. So.
Those are some of the best.
Yeah, they are.
Accidental finds.
Been all of our favorite ones.
And this one tickled us.
Yes.
So, score. Yeah.
So we talk about kind of dialogue, realistic dialogue, and keeping a weird situation feeling very genuine. And I don't know, it's just tough to encapsulate it in just a few words.
It's one of those that it's interesting in that the character continuity is not only consistent all the way through, but the development of the character goes like to the very end. There's little bits here, little bits there, affirmations, little like discoveries and furtherances. It's really great.
It is, and it's well done. It's not a low budget indie film.
Right.
They had a pretty good budget for this. As far as, a lot of the types of indie films that we cover. So, there weren't the struggles that we see in some of those lower budget indie movies.
Right. Well, not technically.
Right.
I mean, we really don't know what happened behind the scenes, if anything.
Well, that's true. We weren't there.
But yeah, it's nice and clean. It's witty. It's funny.
Yeah, it makes you take a little self-analysis.
Yeah, it has some messages.
A little bit, but it's not it's not beating you over the head with the messages.
No, but they are up front.
Sure.
Like, they're in the first row. You can see them down there in the glow of the stage light. Here I am.
In the glow of the electronics.
All right. Well,
let's do this.
All right. Let's go. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
And this is Danny.
Didn't work again.
I'll get you.
You think so. We have a fun episode coming up right here.
I threw off your train of thought, didn't I?
Maybe.
Huh?
Well, I sort of, it was like a joint effort.
Okay.
I derailed myself by going off of it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this one is a fun find.
Yeah.
And it's a new film, which is awesome.
Yes.
And glad we hopped upon it and can't wait to talk about it. But before we do that, we didn't mention it in the interview with Alistair or in our lead up to it. But we wanted to mention this wonderful documentary / biography / maybe something else on Hulu.
It's intensely difficult to describe.
Well, that's what they have in their thing.
Yeah.
Right. But it's called In and of Itself.
Yes.
Watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely watch it. It is one of those. This is a one-man act that has been playing in New York.
It was.
Well, or it
some
was.
years ago.
Yeah. It was 522 show.
I think 552, but
552.
Whatever. Yeah. More than 500 shows.
Yeah, which is, wow. And towards the end, they recorded a few, edited them together to make this thing to put on Netflix. Would have loved to have seen this in person.
Oh gosh. I don't know if I could have handled seeing it in person. I think I might have just lost my mind.
It is magical.
Yes.
It is very emotional. It is very uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
It has, it takes you through the whole roller coaster
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It goes light, dark, light, dark. There's everything's woven together, but at the end, oh my God. Not gonna lie, we lost it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
This was so good. We had our daughter watch it, and Lily lost it,
Yeah.
and we lost it again. Watching it, it is hands down probably one of the most beautiful things out there right now.
Yes.
And I think right now, folks, do yourself a favor and watch this, and just wrap yourself up in it, because
Yeah.
I think we all need it.
I think without going too deeply into what the show is about, if you're someone who's ever been kind of wondering or struggling, or even, one night a long time ago and never again since, you kind of sat up late at night and wondered about, who you are and what you are and what makes you you,
Yeah,
then you should watch this.
absolutely. And watch it with someone if you can.
Yeah, because you're going to want to share it with somebody.
Absolutely. If you want to do like a watch party, or even just, call someone up and say, hey, let's get this sign up, 3, 2, 1, hit play, and enjoy it over the phone, through what, if you have another medium to do it on. But can't say enough about this. And oh my God, this is the kind of thing we can't do an episode on, because you really,
well, that's the thing, because I've seen it a couple times now, and and I really wanted to do an episode on it, but that almost kind of defeats the purpose of the experience of watching it for yourself.
It does. This is something that, it's an experience, and you can't dissect an experience. We wouldn't be able to do it adequately.
No.
It's wonderful. Well written, well performed.
Yeah, Derek Delgaudio. He's incredible.
Yeah. So,
again, in and of itself, it's on Hulu. Mm-hmm. It is independent. It was independently made, and filmed and edited and yada yada.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And just, bit of a spoiler. There's some awesome surprises at the very end.
Yeah.
Visually. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We've lost a few other legends this week. Cicely Tyson, among others. Life is moving on.
Yeah.
And the last group of the builders of this business we call filmmaking and entertainment are, reaching the end of their journey.
It feels like the world is changing, and more than just as a result of this pandemic. It just feels like there's a shift that goes a lot deeper.
Yeah, and this kind of like exemplifies it.
Yeah.
It makes me think of back when I was a kid. My grandfather would always announce who's dead, like whether you knew him or not. Right? Some guy from who was a bowler. I became very familiar with the golfers back in the day through the 70s and 80s. Not that I care about golf, but he made sure I knew who was who. You're watching Payne Stewart here. Okay. But when the old legends would start passing, right? Stars from the Cagney and Bogart, all these wonderful people. I now understand what it's like and what he was getting at. And he wasn't a real emotional man.
Right.
How about I say it this way? He wasn't an emotional man.
I believe you.
But he would just get kind of down about it. And I thought as a kid, well, yeah, it's sad that someone's going or has passed. Right. I get it. But now having my own batch of, Hollywood legends and people that I've literally grown up with and have been there all my life. Now to see them going. So I kind of get it. It really drives home that when things do change, and there are changes afoot, and and there are big waves of change. This is just one more, white cap on each of those waves. That wow, that we will never see her in something new again.
Yeah.
Or him, or any of the people who have passed. It's just funny that you don't even really think about. I don't spend all day thinking. I didn't. When's Dawn Wells coming out with something today? I didn't do that every day.
I don't know. I think a lot about Betty White.
I think we all think a lot about Betty White, and I don't even want to talk about that eventuality. But yeah, Anyway, so in the midst of all this, we found what we consider to be yet another magnificent little ditty that we stumbled on. The people are familiar, but not in a lot of things, as most. But they were in this, and
Oh, it's super fun. I can't wait to talk about it.
Well, do you want to bring us into this? And
I do.
Let's start rocking it.
I do.
All right, tell us.
This little film is called Save Yourselves. Or, as the title with the exclamation point at the end would imply, save yourselves.
Save yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Released in 2020. So, pretty new.
Yeah.
Written and directed by Alex Houston Fisher and Eleanor Wilson. Starring Sunita Mani, John Reynolds, Ben Sinclair. Rated R. I would call this a light R. Language, maybe?
I tell you what, there's a lot of Walking Dead has more language use.
There's a little gore.
There's a little bit. Walking Dead has more gore than what we've seen.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it got saddled with that. I'll go with it. Whatever.
Sure. So here is the plot. A young Brooklyn couple heads to an upstate cabin to unplug from their phones and reconnect with each other. Blissfully unaware of their surroundings, they are left to their own devices as the planet falls under attack.
Yeah. Again, accurate.
It is accurate. All right. So I'm just going to jump right into it.
Jump right into it. Let's do this movie.
Yeah. So we open on the night sky, and there's some kind of radio chatter voiceover in the background.
Right.
Sounds like a radio show. And we see there's a super. The year humankind lost the planet Earth. So we already kind of know this isn't going to have a happy ending.
Right. Just it sets it right out in the beginning.
We lose. So then we have a couple. They're lounging on the couch on their phones, and it gives us a little time with them on their phones to see that this isn't just a moment.
Oh, right.
This is how they go about their day.
Yeah.
Right.
It establishes this is the main pace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a good shot. The woman puts her phone down and just only to pick up her laptop.
Yeah.
So she opens it and fiddles a little bit, and then she freaks out because she's lost her tabs.
Yeah.
All her tabs.
All the tabs.
All the tabs. All my tabs are gone. And she starts blaming him for it.
Yep.
And he's initially like, no. And she's like, really? 7 ways to do sourdough or whatever? And he's kind of like, well, sorry. So while they argue, I thought this was funny. They're using Alexa to pause and unpause their TV.
Yeah.
So one of them pauses it and they argue a little bit and then they think they're done. And so one unpauses it and then they start arguing again. So they
Alexa,
pause it
play.
again.
Alexa, pause.
So the woman's name is Sue, and they finally make up and they start to get intimate. And then his phone starts buzzing. So he backs up off to check it, and she just pulls out her phone again. And I'm like, oh, this is sad to watch.
Yeah.
What? So we get the credits rolling for the film, and they're at a party. Seems like a wedding party. And then all of these people I noticed at this party look so into themselves.
Yeah.
Right? They're not there with each other. They're there like with themselves.
Right.
Partying with themselves. It's just so weird. And the guy of our couple is talking about dinosaurs at the bar with this other guy. And the party kind of goes on, and we hear stories of like the people going on their little adventures, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I took some time in, Bora Bora, and just, oh, I just got so down to earth, and it's pretty barfy. Then they
I like that you called it barfy.
It is. So they talked to this guy named Raph. Raph, who used to be an investment banker, but now does some weird entrepreneurial thing with surfboards.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is exactly. And they're all like, oh, Raph, I wish I could be more like you, essentially. And he tells them about a cabin that he's been restoring, and he invites them to like, go stay there.
Yeah, it's his grandfather's cabin.
Yeah. And then he also gives the guy of the couple like citrine stone for stress.
Yeah.
When you're stressed, just hold the stone.
Hold it. Wow.
Okay. Whatever. Then they're walking home from the party, and they're talking about wanting to be better people. They talk about like veganism and stuff they can do to help the world and be better. And
yeah, well, I want to be a vegan again. Excuse me, and
it's all this like fad stuff.
This is a perfect setup for how absolutely in concentration, right? You put all these things together in a heavily concentrated ball, how absolutely sickening all this stuff is when you layer it one on top of the other.
And it's super ubiquitous today as well.
Yeah.
But this does a really good job of pointing out how it just, seriously.
Well, I felt sorry for them, not because they were having any like real issues, but that, goddamn, this is, especially, I want to become a vegan again. Yeah, I want to do this again and that again. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's elevating yourself to a happy life?
Well,
because you sound absolutely fucking put off on the idea of doing it again.
It's weird because the irony here is that they want to do all these things to be like deeper, more authentic people, but all of these things are so superficial and don't really have anything to do with who they are.
Right. And cliquish, Anyway,
so the next day they're sitting on the couch. Sue notably does not have her phone, but the guy has the phone in his hand, and she like punches it out of his hand. And he takes a second, then he thanks her. And then next thing we know, they're on the phone telling people that they're going to unplug. They're not going to be there for a while, yada, yada. Sue is asking for some time off, and then she gets a message back from her boss saying that she's fired. And she's like, I'm fired. And he's like, oh, man. She's like, that's okay. It's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure she bought into that 100%, but she was trying.
Yeah.
But I thought it was hilarious because that's yet another sign of how just fucking ridiculous things have become. She's on the phone with her boss. No more than she hits the fucking end call button. She's literally 2 feet from the couch. She takes 2 steps, turns, sits. She gets a text from her boss that she just talked to, firing her.
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, man. So later in bed, they talk about how it'll be great for them to get away from everything for a whole week. And the next day, they're on the move. But before that, Sue does this thing where she's singing a little ditty about putting the big soap into the little soap. As she fills travel containers for soap.
I loved it. I thought it was just so cute.
Did too. That's why I wrote it down.
I wrote it in my notes too.
It's like, the big soap in into the little soap. And then she does another
Big soap into the little soap. Yeah.
And it's funny because at one point he kind of gets into it from the shower.
Yeah.
Just before they close the scene. So then they're at a gas station filling up. And while they're there, they make new voicemail greetings saying that they're going to be out of touch for a week.
This was so cute because it's, in movies, they'll do the dual voice message on the old voice,
Yeah, on the answering machine.
Yeah, on the answering machine. So they took up both their phones. And I'd never really seen this done in a movie since they stopped putting answering machines in movies.
Right.
Or they're both recording new voicemail messages on their phones at the same time, and it's both of them. This is Jack, and this is Sue.
Yeah, they're doing both at the same time with both of them doing a joint message.
Yeah.
It's just like, retro.
It's cute.
It was super cute. And then as they're doing that, the camera pans up and we see the sky. And then we see these things moving around in the sky with trailers behind them.
Yeah.
Like,
little smoke trails.
Yeah. And they're kind of bobbing and weaving and stuff. Now we're at the cabin. Nice place.
Yeah.
This isn't Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, no.
It's not Evil Dead. This is a nice ass cabin on a pretty nice piece of land. As they go in, I love this. Jack walks around saying, Alexa, hey Siri, okay Google.
Yeah.
Other commands with various commands behind them.
Not exactly, but I offer no resistance to helpful assistance.
So we just activated a Siri.
Yeah, we did.
With that.
That was me. That's all right. We'll edit that out.
I don't know.
Well, I don't want to listen to it. We'll be talking about it. Anyway, stupid soundboards. So anyway, they're very happy about the quiet. So later they're walking through the forest, and then we see them sitting on high ground overlooking a large part of the forest. And there's a massive hill in the background. Sue spots some ants. She gets fascinated with them. And then we hear some gunshots off in the distance.
Yeah.
And Sue says it must be hunting season. Jack suggests they go build a fire. Sue says she was thinking they could try something over the weekend. Some things that she wrote down. How to be a better we. And then so they start talking, and it turns out she didn't write it. It's from the internet. But she hand copied it into her notebook.
Yes.
And this kind of sends Jack into a thing. He's like, you didn't fucking think this up. That was the whole point of this. You brought the fucking internet with us in your notebook.
Yes. She's like, no, but I hand wrote it.
Yeah. It's such a ridiculous little argument. Anyway, so then we hear more gunshots, and it's a lot, actually. Jack says he's sure it'll be fine. I love this. So at the cabin, it's getting dark, and they're getting ready to make a fire in the fire pit outside. So then we cut to a lantern lighting the area. Jack is blowing on some mildly smoking wood. And I mean super mild.
Oh, yeah.
He says the wood is bad.
We all know it isn't.
They've spent hours and they can't light a fucking fire. So they sit and share a joint.
Yep.
They see a shooting star. And then they see another. Sue says the urge to take out her phone is very strong. And Jack says he's jonesing to watch a YouTube video on how to build a rabbit trap.
Yeah.
So then they watch a shooting star fall from the sky. It looks like it hits somewhere nearby in the woods. So it's later now, and they're in bed. There's a strange sound, and then Jack wakes up screaming at someone to get out. I mean, he's just like raging.
Yeah.
Right. And then she wakes up, and she's like, what? Oh. While he's raging. So he's a sleep rager.
Well, when they were at the fire, he asked if she wanted another drink, and she was like, you probably shouldn't have one because when you drink, you do that thing in your sleep.
Right. And this is it.
Yep.
It's fucking hilarious. So she just like lays him back down. I love that. She's like, what's going on? What? Oh. Lays him back down. and then they're asleep.
Yeah. So it's the next day. And we see a guy who's fleeing from something in the woods. He's just booking it. And then we're back with Sue and Jack, who are moving a canoe around. And they get it to a pond, and they're sitting in it with their eyes closed. And the goal is to feel each other with their brains.
Right.
Sure. And kind of behind them, we see the guy who was running.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he's trying to,
And he's like, guys.
Yeah.
Nope, guess not.
And his squeaking like death noises or whatever are mistaken by them for the sounds of nature.
Yes.
Which the night before they were listening to something by the fire that they said was frogs, and it was for sure not frogs.
Right.
Like
I know it was funny watching. It's like,
was.
oh man. Okay, go.
So Jack calls Sue out again for her internet list because this canoe thing is apparently one of those things. And then he just leaves. He dives into the pond. He's like, I'm going to bake a loaf of bread and eat it. So they get back to the house. They're soaked because Sue followed him out. And when they get inside, Jack sees this little brown poof on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think that was there before. Was that there before? And she's like, I don't know. It's a poof.
Yeah.
So they shower and argue in the shower about the right way to unplug and be authentic, which is hilarious. Are you putting your phone on airplane mode?
No.
You so were.
No.
That's okay. I did it while you were introing, so. Anyway. So their argument doesn't end well, and Jack storms out again, and using his crystal to self-soothe.
Yeah.
Right? And we see downstairs, the poof is gone.
Yeah.
So he goes down. He doesn't notice this. He grabs an axe and a log outside and apparently wants to work out some aggression.
Yeah.
Cutting wood. So Sue comes down and watches him through the window for a little bit. And he's like, he gets an axe stuck in a log and he can't remove it from the log.
Yeah.
So she wanders back through the house looking at various things. Then she sees her purse and sneakily grabs her phone out of it.
Mm-hmm. So
she kind of goes around the corner, hides, turns it on, listens to voicemails. And she's got a couple. And while she's listening, you don't hear a lot of what they say. But she's like, this is weird. And then she hears Jack come in and she scrambles to hide her phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, let's do this. And immediately she's like, turn on our phones. And he's like, no. Do your list thing. Because he wants this week to be productive. He doesn't want this to be for nothing.
Right.
They're taking a week, to go up here and do this thing. He doesn't want it to be for nothing. So he starts in and about how he doesn't know how to do like manly stuff.
Right.
Right. Like hunting and sports. And
well, with the axe cutting thing,
right.
While she's dicking around in there, we eventually cut back to the window, right? And look out. And he's just sitting on the ground in fucking defeat. The axe and the log's laying on its side. The axe is laying at his feet. And he's done nothing to split one fucking log.
Yeah. So he goes on this whole diatribe about man stuff. And then he's like, you go. You do a confession, right? Because I just confessed this to you. And instead of confessing about the whole phone thing that literally just happened.
Right.
Right. Even though he's explicitly like, what's the last thing that you lied to me about or hid? She says that she eats her contacts. And it's kind of this whole thing.
Okay, so when she said that, I actually stopped writing. Because that was
what?
Yeah, it's literally the last thing you would expect.
Yeah.
That assemblage of words.
I eat my contacts.
I don't know that it's ever been spoken or written before ever.
I don't think that it has.
And it's funny because she was doing it under such duress.
Uh-huh.
She's when he's like, come on, you go. She thinks he's prodding her. Like, I know you were on your fucking phone. I just want to hear you say it. But he's clueless.
Right.
She doesn't know that. She's like, I need my contacts.
What?
On so many levels, I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Is that the best you can come up with? But
seems like it's a thing that she actually does. She wasn't just making it up.
I know that was the thing. Oh shit, she actually does this. And he's like,
So while she's explaining this, something flies by the window, which distracts Jack for a little bit, but nothing comes of it.
Right. It was just...
They both kind of go look, but they don't see anything.
And then there's some talk of monkeys or something.
They don't know that much about the outdoors. It has become painfully clear.
That's probably the biggest understatement on this show ever. So now it's night and they're playing cards and talking. They start to make out. And outside of the window behind them, standing in the yard, is Raph. He's wearing a bandana and bleeding. And then all of a sudden he collapses and one of those foofs is behind him.
Yeah. Well, you call them foofs. I call them poofs. I think both are correct.
I changed it to poof, but I'm going to start with foof. Because they're foofs. I don't know they call them poofs in the movie, but it's a foof.
They're just little fluffy things.
So later, Jack wakes up and sleep rages again. But this time, there's a foof on the wall in front of him. Now, being asleep, he doesn't really see it.
Right.
Okay. The next morning, they wake up and go downstairs. Jack sees that his sourdough starter jar is empty, and he's mad.
He is. He brought that all the way from Brooklyn.
Yeah. And he starts going on about raccoons. It's like, do they eat sourdough? What the fuck?
And she's like, didn't you make it all when you made bread yesterday? And he's like, I didn't make bread.
Yeah. So Sue realizes that all of the whiskey is gone. And she notices there's like some sticky goo on the bottle. And then she checks the starter jar, looking at him closely. It also has goo. And in the middle of the goo on each of the bottles is this small, perfect little hole.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even know how big, but it's just small.
Right. Like the head of a nail, kind of.
Yeah, roughly. But see, for folks who don't know all about nails and stuff, how big is that?
I don't know.
Because they come in all sizes.
A pinky nail.
I would say it's like 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
It's like,
they're small.
Yeah. When you stab your friend with a sharpened pencil, it only goes in just that little bit, enough to make a little round spot.
Well, there you go. It's about the width of a pencil.
No, smaller than the width of a pencil. It's talking about the tip.
Well, either way.
How much do you stab your friends with a pencil? How deep do you go? I mean, that was the thing growing up. We used to stab each other in the legs and stuff with sharpened pencils and that, but you don't like you're going for an artery. You just,
Like I saw a kid get stabbed with a pencil and it was deep.
Anyway, so all the bottles have this goo and this hole. So then she sees a foof, or she calls it a poof. So now I'll start calling them poofs.
It's a poof.
Oof. She asks if Jack moved it, and she doesn't think it's just a poof. He says it's a decorative poof. She's not buying it. So he grabs some fireplace tongs. Well, if this thing's going to come to life, what are you going to do? Grab it to death? There's a poker. There's a shovel. There's all these things that could be considered like actual weapons, and he grabs fucking tongs.
I don't know. I don't know that that's all that. I mean, I guess it is kind of weird, but like it's a it's a little fluffy thing. How bad could it be?
If you have to grab something, anyway. So, he goes towards it, and then all of a sudden it moves and makes a noise. And then shoots out this super long, sticky tongue thing, like lightning quick. You hear it, and it hits the wall, and then this thing flies like Tarzan through the air, launches itself outside. Of course, Jack's just like, what the fuck was that?
That's an appropriate response.
That was the first appropriate thing that these two have done since leaving the city.
Yeah.
Yet in the movie.
What the fuck was that?
Sue takes off upstairs to secure everything. And I'm not sure she's clear on what that means.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she's doing random stuff. At any rate, at one point she admits that she turned her phone on and starts to explain the messages that she heard that were being left for her. How her mom was saying rats were taking over the city, but they weren't rats. Something about ethanol. And she says they need to turn their phones back on. And he says no at first, but then ultimately agrees. So they come down the stairs armed with a plunger and the toilet lid.
Yes.
The tank lid.
Yeah, the toilet tank lid.
Again, interesting choices. Sue grabs her purse and they're back up in the bedroom. They don't have a signal, of course. It's the only weak points to this is with every movie with a cell phone. Sometimes you got a signal, sometimes you don't.
Well,
only when it's convenient.
I understood it as the towers were down, like the whole cellular network failed.
Well, no, because at one point they do get to listening to stuff.
That's not till the end.
No.
Because when she turned hers on, it pulled all her messages and stuff. But by the time he turned his on, there was no cellular network anymore. So he couldn't get his messages.
Anyway.
I agree. It is a fallacy in a lot of movies like this.
Yeah. So, they lay out, so she has she has a couple of messages that came through overnight. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all lay out some kind of apocalypse thing happening. Aliens. One is from Raph, who says he's coming up to the cabin because all of the weird shit is going on, and tells them there's a gun in the chest in the basement. And then another one is from her sister, something about them going out on a boat.
Right.
So Jack is pissed that Sue didn't share any of that with him yesterday, saying they would have had ample time to get away.
Yeah.
Right? On a boat or something. Sue thinks they should go into town to get cell service and then call his parents.
So at this point, they flee the house with a tennis racket and a fireplace shovel and get in the car, but it's out of gas.
Yeah.
So they turn it on enough with the radio, the battery power, which has this autoplay message saying to take shelter.
Right. One of the auto emergency messages.
And they discover there's one of those little sticky holes in the gas tank.
Yep.
Right? The poof drank the gas. So they go back into the house and they're taking stock of what they have. They've got a couple of days worth of food and a gun in the basement. Jack is against the gun. And Sue's like, well, we might need to use the gun because aliens. And they argue about this for a long time to the point where Jack is just like, well, I guess we're gun people now.
And can I got to stop here for a second because,
sure.
Again, this was great writing.
Yeah.
For the conversation and the character development, because it is this tangent that as you're watching it, you're very physically aware. This is a long conversation.
Yes.
Way longer than it should be in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he does bring up some valid points, like neither of them know how to use the guns. So, but at the same time, you figure it out.
Well, yeah, but again, in this kind of situation, this isn't, there's a wild bear out there. We got to scare it off somehow. This is it.
Yeah.
This is end game.
Yeah,
we gotta do whatever. And I also I took it, and both of them do this kind of thing a little bit from this point on, but I kind of took it as, well, it is a panicky thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Right? So maybe he's not that adamant about his feelings on guns and gun control. Maybe he's kind of losing his shit a bit, and this is the nugget.
I mean,
that he
maybe.
has to hold on to. But either way, it's fucking hilarious.
So they've gotten the gun chest up from the basement, and they're trying to listen to Raph's voicemail to get the combination to the lock on the chest, but it's hard to hear him, and he's cutting out a lot. So they're trying out a couple combinations. They've got a few of the digits down, but so they're unable to figure it out. So they start talking about what to do, and Jack wants to go gather more weapony kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which he thinks will be in the basement. And Sue is reluctant to be separated from him in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're leaving the room? But she's like, just be careful. The poof is so fast. It's sneaky.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So in the basement, Jack grabs a pipe and, kind of he's looking around. And Sue upstairs hears a fly and is startled by it. And then she sees the fireplace and realizes like, oh, that's an open chute to the outside.
Yep.
Right. And downstairs, Jack is startled by a basketball. It's about poof sized.
Yeah.
So he comes up armed with a flashlight, some duct tape, and a bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the weapony things he brought up from the basement.
Yeah.
And he says the wine could be used to distract the poof because it'll drink it.
Well, he explains they could also throw it.
Right.
And when it crashes, it'll make a sound. Because she gave the same look that we were giving.
Right.
And he came off and they cut to her. And I'm like, I know that's what I look like looking at him. So he explains it. And I'm like, okay, that tracks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they're fiddling with the chest again and they realize that it has no hinges. So they could open it from the other side.
I love that. Hey, this thing has no hinges.
So Jack's like, well, we need to test the gun. So hilariously, he ties his shirt around his head to cover his ears.
Yeah, ear protection.
Yeah. And sticks it out the kitchen window. Pulls the trigger and just blows out the window.
Yeah.
And gets a kick in the shoulder, as one does. And it's so funny because there's a bunch of huge kitchen knives just hanging in the background.
I know. This is not like an under construction house.
No.
Right? I don't know. I think the renovation.
I mean, it's well established. There's stuff in there.
Right. But yeah, it's a fully functioning, fully furnished, beautiful cabin. And that kitchen is fully equipped with all the pokey pokes that you could want. And, they come up with a plunger and a toilet lid.
Yeah. I mean, I think whatever renovations he was doing were more like beautification type things.
Or he was just done.
I don't know.
Anyway.
So they tape up the window and they push the couch up against it.
Yes.
So then they're practicing packing a go bag.
Yeah. A
couple of fun stuff in here. Jack is frustrated that they didn't bring any non-perishable items.
Right.
Like eggs, quinoa, and, stuff. So they time themselves packing up all the stuff and they get to the door. They're happy with their time, but they kind of look and they've got 6 bags between them. And there was just this little quote. Seems like a lot of stuff to carry on the run.
Oh, all right. So then we cut to night. They're playing a game. It's like an imitation game.
Oh, yeah.
So she says Sean Connery. And the idea is to make jokes as Sean Connery. So they end up making jokes using Sean Connery's voice. They chat for a bit. And Sue points out that they don't have any skills, which I had to write down, which is apparent.
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad that was said, that they understood what we have been watching this whole time. Oh my God. You're like baby kangaroos.
Well, they're realizing that they're ill-equipped to deal with what seems like the end of the world.
Well, the end of the world and jobs.
Right.
They don't have any skills for what could only be called a real job. I'm not going to say all, 90% of all this gig work, because that's what she was doing. That's why she was pissed off about the web tabs, browser tabs earlier, because she
They were work related.
Yeah. But all this gig work is nothing. I mean, she was like helping someone plan a vacation, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it didn't even sound like she was a travel agent. It was just weird. But as they talk, they don't have any quantifiable skills.
Yeah.
To actually be like a W-2 employee somewhere. And because they're talking, this will all get built back up, and when this is over, we'll rebuild and stuff. And that's when she's like, we have no skills. No skills to help rebuild, no skills to actually like have a job. I thought it was pretty good little nailing there. But and just they also have no cabin related skills.
Well, yeah.
They don't know how to navigate this cabin. So they're sitting there, and she tells Jack to go to sleep, and she'll wake him up when she's tired. So he does. And next thing you know, they're both sleeping. Jack wakes up and he sees Raph wearing a poof, like a Daniel Boone hat.
Yes.
And it's a sleep thing again. Sue wakes up and then wakes him up. And then as he wakes up, there is actually a poof where Raph was standing.
Right.
So they bolt, forgetting their go bags. They run to a small barn, and right away we see there's an old Land Rover. It takes them a moment to it's a car. They grab the keys, which are hanging nearby, and hop in. And Jack starts swearing, and he's upset that it's a stick shift.
Right.
Neither of them know how to drive a stick. And then it comes out Sue apparently had a brief experience in college. So now she's in the driver's seat. I thought that was just the best. It's a stick. Oh my God. So next we see Jack is outside guiding her out because she's backing out, guiding her out of the barn. And then he hops in, and Sue takes off in reverse very slowly. Then she's
struggling a little bit.
Yeah. Then she remembers the go bags. So they get to the cabin, and there is a poof on the roof. It shoots its weird tongue at the truck, but it doesn't drink the gas. And I'm thinking, well, it's an old Land Rover. Maybe is it because it's diesel? And, not ethanol? Because that was the thing that was mentioned, ethanol in the starter, sourdough starter and everything else.
In the whiskey. And
yeah. So they take off and run over something backing up. And then they run it over again. And they just ignore it. And there are poofs all over the cabin. And then after they leave, we see Raph's crushed body.
Yeah.
With tire indentations. And they had no idea what they did. So they're on the road. And it's a dirt road because this is out in the boonies. There's a truck is coming at them, and it has a poof on it.
A pink one.
Yeah. Nice.
And these poofs are all different colors.
They are. Yeah. They're black, brown, light brown, whitish, pink. Yeah. It's
blue.
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the truck stops. It's out of gas. A woman gets out, and the poof kills her with the tongue thing.
It is quick.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that it happens like kind of in the background, because the camera is shooting from the truck that Jack and Sue are in. And we see this lady a little bit down the road, and you can see just enough the blood.
Yes.
Like come out the front of her head. But yeah, that tongue thing is like a lightning quick spear.
Yeah.
But yeah, the blood bits were super nice. And then a man gets out, and the same thing. It does him in. So then
but they've stopped to watch this.
Well, yeah, because So then the poof rises into the air from the road. It hovers, then goes back down and whips off. So then we're in the truck with we're in the Range Rover with Jack and Sue, and they notice a terrible smell, and Sue asks, "Did it just poof us?" And she like pulls her shirt up over her face.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And they're looking at each other like, this is so bad.
This is terrible.
So they drive on. And of course, as they pass the pickup, they hear a baby crying in the back of the truck.
Right.
So they actually deliberate on what to do. Jack is mostly for going full-blown selfish and getting the hell out of there. Sue doesn't want to be the people who left the baby in the truck. So they get out and take the baby. And Sue can't get the car seat figured out.
Yeah,
They're taking a super long time trying to get this thing out.
they are. And while they're struggling to get the baby out, there's a woman who was hiding in the back of the truck under like a tarp.
Mm-hmm.
She gets out and just like steals their Rover. And this is where she makes she's like, it's a diesel, isn't it? So we're like, okay.
Yep.
Right. And they're like, what about the baby? And she's like, not my baby, and leaves.
She's the lady who left the baby behind.
And she doesn't suffer any guilt about it.
Nope, full on selfish.
Yeah.
Jack's route.
Yeah. So they search the truck, the back of the truck, which has got a bunch of stuff in it. And they find like a baby Bjorn
Yeah.
and a go bag, some stuff that they can bring with them. And they start trekking through the woods. They discover by finding the birth certificate of the baby that the baby is named Jack.
Yeah. The parents, apparently on their bug out, took like all the important documents.
Yeah.
There was like birth certificates, licenses, everything,
Yeah,
which I thought that's a really super small detail,
it is.
but that's fucking brilliant because I don't know of any other scene like this in any other movie where the documents were also considered, we got to take this with us,
right.
right? It's always guns and food and run like hell,
Yeah.
right? And toilet paper sometimes.
Yeah. So they're kind of delighted by that. They've got baby Jack
Mhm.
and baby Jack. But they have to change baby Jack. So while changing him, they both start to get a little loopy,
Right.
and they realize that the poof, when it poofed them, must have drugged them somehow. So we get a little bit of a druggy montage
Mm-hmm.
where they're both tripping out. And Sue is just cognizant enough to grab some EpiPens from the go bag they took
Mm-hmm.
and dose them both, and they pass out. And then we see the pink poof is in the woods with them. This was the one on the truck that killed mom and dad, presumably mom and dad.
Yeah.
And at some point during their trip out, the baby crawled away. Jack wakes up, and he wakes up Sue, and she's lost a contact. And he does make a little comment. He's like, you didn't need it?
I know. That got us both.
And they can't find baby Jack. So Sue starts to freak out, and Jack kind of grounds her, right?
Mhm.
He grabs her, and he's like, we got to focus on one thing. Find the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So they hear him gurgle. They see the pink poof right behind the baby, right? And Sue and Jack look, and they see the go bag nearby, which they know has some stuff in it. It's got a wine bottle
Right.
in it. So they run for it. Sue gets a knife and tosses the bottle of wine. And Jack kind of runs in front of her as the poof is kind of coming at her.
Mm-hmm.
And the poof sticks his tongue thing in, and Jack does his little, he plays the hero for a second, right?
Yeah.
Because he gets between her and the poof, and he sticks the tongue thing at him. And Sue runs up and starts hacking at the tongue with the knife, which takes a while. And I don't know whether this is due to the tongue being super tough or due to her just not being good with a knife.
Or having the strength of a marshmallow,
Yeah.
maybe.
But her hacking the tongue in half killed the poof. It like deflates and turns into just a pile of fur. And it turns out that Jack's phone saved his life because it blocked.
Yeah, I
The
thought it had
poof
something to
tongue.
do with the baby Bjorn because it hit the baby Bjorn strap,
Yeah.
right?
And I was like, is this a Kevlar baby Bjorn?
Yeah. What do they make these fucking things out of?
Right?
It's not like anything I remember.
I wondered that too, but it was his phone.
Yeah.
So they keep trekking, trying to find a trail, and they end up finding the lookout point that they found when they first came up here to the cabin.
Yeah, where they heard all the gunshots and
Sue found the ants and they were arguing about
Yeah.
her journal thing. And they're like, God, we were just here 3 days ago. And you know how crazy things have gotten since then. And Jack makes the comment that he doesn't really know who he is anymore, you know, because they're having this little kind of introspective moment
right.
at the lookout point. It's
Yeah.
full circle, right? And Sue says, I don't think it matters who we are anymore.
No, and that is like spot on.
Yeah.
Again, that simple little line was a realization that you just don't see dealt with in any other apocalyptic movies, serious or otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, more about that later. So as they feed the baby, Jack spots something in the woods behind them. So they go to look, and then he doesn't want to get any closer. Sue, of course, just goes in for a closer look even still. And it looks like some sort of tall, flat glass things.
Like
Or
a
thing.
shard.
Yeah, like a big, I don't even know what to call it.
Like a giant, like person-sized, person-tall
Yeah.
shard of glass that's
Yeah,
warbly.
warbly and thin and
Mhm.
everything. Not easy to see through. It distorts everything. Anyway, so she touches it and it makes a sound.
And Jack is like, don't touch it.
And then she says she can't really touch it. There's some kind of force field. So Jack gets closer to touch it with her. And they really start getting like up on this thing. And they decide it's some kind of communications thing.
Because their phones start going off.
Yeah, they're looking at her phone and checking social media. So it's like it's like an antenna all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then while they're doing this, all around them, the thin glass stuff is rising from the ground surrounding them. And before they know it, they're in a glass bubble. So they try calling 911, but they get the high call volume message,
Right.
which is so funny. Only people in big cities know this and put it in their scripts. Right?
Yeah.
You can actually call at certain times, call 911 and get a recorded message saying, please wait or call back.
Yeah.
Because
if they have high call volume.
yeah. Now, like in the Midwest, there isn't a city out here that's even close enough
Oh, no.
to drench a 911 center, you know, even in the worst of things. So yeah, it's just, you can always tell where people are from by little elements like this they put in the script.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And then they leave the most incomprehensible message.
I mean, you know,
There's a thing in the poop and we're in a bubble and this and that and this and that. Okay, whatever. Well, and then while this is going on, the bubble that they're in starts to rise. So as it takes them higher into the sky, they see helicopters. And then there's bombs going off and all kinds of shit, right? So
Yeah.
we see kind of like as they're going up, they're looking out and they're seeing Armageddon taking place. They keep going up and then they get to the edge of the atmosphere. There's a weird sound and they're shaking. And now they're in space and they see other bubbles rising. And Jack asks if they're saved. Then we cut to a wide shot of space with a lot of bubbles just floating away from Earth.
yeah.
Credits.
Yeah.
That's it.
I liked how it ended really ambiguously. You know?
I did too.
Because we don't know if they're saved. We don't know what the hell is going on with these bubbles.
No, and I like the fact that he asks the question, you know, are we saved? You know, or are they going to be dinner, or are they
Right.
going to float around until they like die and ferment? Because, you know,
Or
rotting
maybe
bodies.
they'll become poofs.
Well, maybe. Or maybe there's a ship out there that's like a big Hoover. You know,
don't know.
yummy.
Who knows?
Or it just, you know, gets them off the planet because they're not interested in humans. They're interested in all the ethanol.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll never know.
No.
And I don't want to know. You know, and it's funny. So before we get into all the stuff on this, we can start with the ending here made me think of Invasion Planet Earth,
Yeah.
where that movie would have not had such a disfavorable view from us had it ended like this.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God, the big long monologue of they're saving us and taking us to a new world and saving us from ourselves. That just exacerbated all the other shit that was wrong getting to that point story-wise. I don't like they saved us because.
Right.
Okay. Just a writing tip, story-wise, folks. Worst fucking thing you could choose ever for an ending. Worst. Absolute worst. I'd rather you cut somebody off mid-sentence, mid-scene, and just fucking call it a day. Right? I'll wrestle with it, but I'll be more accepting of that than they saved us, because that is just the most post-McCarthyism fucking way of thinking, that we are worth fucking anything to any advanced race out there other than kibbles and bits, or, we need a planet of bitches.
Well, it just
you're my bitch.
Perpetuates this whole, like, I'm special, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
and
stuff.
And when it's aliens and spaceships, right? And we don't have spaceships or anything like that, guess what? We're not special.
Nobody's special.
Let it go. Anyway. So I just thought, it was odd that I was thinking about that. Like, oh man, that movie would have fucking
I thought about that too.
Benefited greatly from this kind of ending.
Leaving it really ambiguous.
Yeah. But anyway. So this was fun.
It was fun.
We laughed.
Yeah.
And shared a lot of things watching it. Paused it a couple times to go on about stuff mid-movie.
I mean, I'd watch it again. It was a fun watch. Budget-wise, we weren't able to find a budget. This, I think, is one of those. They clearly had some money, but they also went to a lot of very, like, cost-saving, efficient cost-saving measures.
Right.
Right? The poofs.
Well, let's talk about the poofs.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's super simple, and you look at it and you think a poof. Not once did I think somebody ran out and, like, grabbed a moo-moo.
No.
And stuffed a pillow in it, right? This wasn't, well, let me just say this. From my perspective, this wasn't a run to Walmart, grab a poofy thing, grab like 30 of them, and that's what we're going to do. Because we know how janky those poofs at Walmart look, right? Now, if they did run out and buy something somewhere, they bought top quality stuff.
Oh, yeah.
These are really good. But I'm thinking that they just assembled these out of good material and, like, this is a special effect prop. So
right.
Let's, give it.
Make it look good.
Yeah. And they did. They looked great. They ridiculous. Did. And honestly, when we watched the trailer and watching the movie, one of the things that came to my mind was Star Trek original series, Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh, Tribbles.
Which were just stupid fur balls that you could tell. They went to the set of Land Before Time. Just took all the extra fur and wrapped them around tennis balls or baseballs. Anyway, they're way better looking than Tribbles.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they do some of the low budget things, right? Like, it's a single location, pretty much. They have the front end stuff.
Well, it's multiple
few
locations, but it could be. They could have shot it all in one building. It's one of those things you never know. Or like when we were talking with Alistair, like that bunker wasn't that big. You just move the camera and shoot it from this way, and then shoot it from this way, move the box over here.
The hallway there was used for a lot of things.
So we had their apartment. We had an outside shot as they're walking home from the party, and then we had the party shot.
Right.
Right. We had the gas station.
And then the cabin.
And we had some driving.
Yeah.
Or some outdoor shots, which are, pickup shots.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything for those other than have someone who knows how to run a camera while in a car. But then after that, we're at the cabin and then in the woods. So it's the low budget thing, but those are the outdoors.
But it's done really well.
It's done really well. And shooting outside, as we've heard from, David Keith, Hilton Ruiz,
Kyle Hester.
So many
Eric,
people.
yeah, everyone.
Barney Burnham, especially because a lot of his shit was dark and
All of
at
his
night.
stuff was outside, basically.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like night
Yeah.
and everything. Outdoor shots and outdoor interior shots, meaning like with with Wild Boar, a lot of it was in abandoned buildings.
Right.
So there was no lighting in there. There half a wall's missing kind of thing. So might as well be outdoors. That is a technically difficult thing to work with because you don't have 100% control. And that's usually where the low budget starts to slip
Sure.
a little bit. But here, again, another super beautifully made, well executed cinematography, lighting. Everything was consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at no point did we, what's happening? What's going on? It was wonderful.
Yeah. So I think that my favorite part and what I would kind of want to talk about as a lesson for this movie,
Sure,
is that the writer-director duo,
mm-hmm.
Alex Fisher, Eleanor Wilson, that man, everything in this script, the dialogue, the actions from what the actors brought to it and how it was directed, it felt very real. None of it felt unnatural.
Right.
The dialogue was very good.
Mm-hmm.
The way everything flowed was very natural. It made sense. It just, and it's funny because we watch a lot of movies. And I don't often watch movies where I'm like, oh man, that's so fucking on point.
Yeah.
Every other scene, right? Every scene, really. I'm like, oh, that's super on point. Yeah. Totally believable. 100%. You didn't have to do the suspension of disbelief. I mean, with aliens and whatever, but
right.
With them as people and their reactions to things.
Yeah. The writing allowed the actors to remain in character throughout.
Yes.
The conversation, the dialogue, and their actions, directions in the script were consistent with the character building that had been done up to this point. And actually, all the way up till the end, it's still character building.
Yeah.
Right? This is very different than like in a horror movie. We have the characters laid out in the beginning, super quick. Because if it's a good horror movie, shit's going to be happening super quick.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, put everything out there. Here's who they are superficially. Boom, 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 boom. So you can identify who's who and what's what.
Oh, yeah.
And then shit goes down.
It's super important in horror movies to get it in those first 10 pages.
Yeah. And then what happens is ultimately, in a lot of horror films, somebody becomes Rambo, and it's usually the weak one.
Well, it's the one who's going to end up being the last girl or the last guy.
If they're the weak one.
Right.
Right. Because we've seen some that are like, the last person standing might not be like, alpha female, alpha male kind of thing, but they have their shit together.
Yeah.
Right. They just, happen to make it. But then there's like always the soft one. Sometimes they're the last person standing. Sometimes they're, peripheral. One of the friends who gives us a bit of a respite, right? This is the person who's suddenly going to stand up all badass and try to give the killer a run for their money. So we get a break from the helplessness and like, and then ultimately, no, they go down and the other person makes it. So yeah, different combinations of those. But I liked how that didn't happen here. They didn't have any epiphanies.
They didn't become Rambo.
No. And interestingly enough, I'm going to assume this was intentional. To the very end, right? They weren't contemplating the meaning of life and the end of the world. Because at the one point, Jack was talking about, well, when this is done, we're going to rebuild. And that's when she's like, we've got no skills. They're still character building and developing all the way to the last frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's consistent, but we can see them. They're not adjusting. I mean, the biggest thing is, are we saved?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing here is, other than the technical aspects being really well done, right?
Yeah.
The characters,
And kind of the realism of the story.
yeah, and like I said, I had to sit and forgive myself for judging the character and forgiving the character for acting like an idiot by thinking, well, maybe I've been, trained by movies to think that when shit like this goes on, everyone switches gear to some militaristic, tactical, survivalist mentality. No, these are essentially two dweebs from the inner city who have,
totally.
who have no life skills, have been living superficially through social media and all the stuff that we make fun of out there. And I think that's what this was doing. Was making fun of the shallowness and just idiocy of building your life around this non-tangible bubble of shit.
Well, it really was. It really was. But at the same time, I mean, I think a lot of people today who aren't at that level, right, for that superficial nonsense,
right,
do see a little, there's a little reflection of themselves in this couple. You know what I mean?
Oh, I believe it. And I think that's what...
I mean, I don't go on social media all that much. I don't live for it. I look at the news and I check social media. I mean, we have this podcast, so we have to kind of be on it with that. And through the pandemic, I keep up with my family, to see what's going on with them.
Yeah.
But even so I was like, oh, am I on this shit too much? Maybe. I don't know.
See, and that's where I look at it like, because I don't have a Facebook page.
Well, I know.
I had one ages ago, and for my photography business, and then did the. It actually does take about 4.5 hours to read, and this is years ago, to read Facebook's terms and conditions about stuff, and I was not impressed. I had a photography business, so I wanted to put my images up so I could sell my, this is what I can do for a wedding photo for you. I mean, this is my type of photography.
Yeah.
This is how you can look. I had real issue with them owning that. Even though it's in one thing it says we don't own it. But they own the rights to the image. They own the likeness rights and it was just like, oh, so you get to use this whenever you want. If I take it down, you can put it back up. Fuck that. So I dropped out of the whole thing. I haven't touched it since. So yeah, when I do the Twitter and Instagram, and usually all I post is episodes. Today I post one every hour on Tuesdays. By the way, we're recording this late, folks.
Yeah, well,
we missed our Sunday night window because just stuff happened, and we had the whole thing Saturday. And just go anyway. And then, I do 3, maybe 4 Instagrams a week, honestly, because I just keep forgetting about it. So yeah, on opening day for an episode release, I do 1 an hour from like 6-ish to about 11 at night. And then every day I schedule them for every 2 hours. Hey, this week's episode. Other than that, I really don't like getting involved with stuff. And I know we have some excellent people out there, and I occasionally will be like, okay, I'm going to take 15 minutes. And these people have been good enough to follow, especially like Eric and Julia and Terry and other podcasts. I really do try, but our feed is so big and there's so much. I can just like zoom, stop. And if you're not in that group of 5 that hits my screen,
that just perfectly demonstrates how easy it is and how easy it would be to get lost in that world.
Absolutely. I see people who post regularly throughout the day, because occasionally I'll go through who's following us and who we're following stuff. I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen anything from this person. And I'll tap on them because it's like, I want to show them some love too, because they've liked a couple things and retweeted, and that helps everybody. So like, I want to return the favor. So I look at their feed. I'm like, I don't know why they're not showing up. Maybe because I'm just, luck of the draw when I scan by. But I see like they're already at like, it's 3 PM and they're already at like 300 tweets for the day.
Good God.
Right? It's like they're just like constantly going. I'm like, who has time for that? I can't.
I
can't.
couldn't live my life.
If I had the time for it, I wouldn't do it, you know? But anyway, yeah, the whole social media thing, I think there's a lot of people who do see a little bit of themselves because you're always, I think if you're involved with it at all, you're always living on that edge.
Yeah.
You're a lot closer than you think. Even me, who doesn't have anything other than a Twitter account, Instagram, for the podcast. And then I use your Facebook page to post Instagram to,
Well, I know how uncomfortable that I am, knowing that I'm like, I'm closer to the edge than I think usually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that makes me uncomfortable. And I liked that watching this movie. You know what I mean?
I see where that would do it. Because I'm not going to say I kind of felt it.
It made me judge them a little less harshly than I ordinarily might have.
I was harsh.
I know you were.
I was harsh.
I read your notes.
But here's the thing. I recognize just being involved with it. Honestly, I think all of us, from me being like the far one end to the 300 tweets in from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., that engulfed in it. Everything in between. I think we're all about 3 inches from the edge at all times. I don't think there is a varying degree for any of us. I think it's just so easy to fall into it, whether you do one tweet a week or one tweet a minute.
Yeah.
I think you're at the exact same space as far as distance from that edge, because it's just a little nudge. And then you can just get sucked up into it. I'm watching a documentary series on Discovery Plus, and it's the dark web. And it was interesting because it had nothing to do with the core of the story. And a lot of these stories actually have very little to do with the dark web. It has to do with dating sites, which are not dark web.
They're not the dark web.
Oh my God. It's a title that works because it got me to watch some of them. Anyway, there was one, and it was about this group of people who were sitting in the same room, and they weren't talking. They'd spend all day texting each other or messaging each other through Facebook, literally 8 inches apart. And it had nothing to do with the story, but that I have heard of that so many times. People texting each other in the house. Now, to be fair,
we used to do that.
Well,
when we worked in the house together.
Well, that's different though, because one of us is on the phone and stuff. We had different workspaces.
Yeah,
right?
On different sides of the house, and you can't,
And it's weird working in the house together, both working from home, being in different rooms for hours.
Yeah.
Right?
It is
so
weird.
It is very much just being at different work locations.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about just in the same room. Now, I was going to say, to be fair, to annoy Lily.
Oh, God, yeah.
We'll be sitting and she'll be in her room doing her thing and stuff, and that's fine. That's what kids do. And then I'll just pull out my phone and I'll text her just to annoy her, or I'll FaceTime. She hates that.
She really does.
And we don't have a conversation. It's just purely for my own joy.
It's just to how
riled.
It's our job to annoy her as her parents.
It absolutely is. So social media, maybe it's a PSA. And I would buy this film. I
mean, maybe it is, but it doesn't beat you over the head, and it kind of, it pokes fun at itself.
It does. But here's the thing. Some of like the most important messages in a film are just like in part of it, and they're part of the subtext, right? This is a little bit more in your face in those moments because it is really sitcom style writing, some of these situations where it's like, this is the most extreme example, right? And it's hilarious.
Yeah, it did. It's so funny because it did feel kind of sitcom-y at moments, but it also felt very natural.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't rushed.
It was balanced really well.
You didn't feel the setup.
Right.
It wasn't that whole thing where it's like, oh, here's the setup.
Cue the laugh track.
Yeah, here's the bomb drop. And then going on. But it was in terms of absurdity, of extremeness in a couple of these moments. It was, but but it works.
Yeah.
It didn't stick out like, oh, this is campy or corny. It was just like, God.
Right.
Yeah. So, I guess watch the social media, folks. You cannot live life doing that. You've got to get into the real stuff. Go out, find a job for a couple hours on a Saturday where you're elbow deep in like shit. And I mean raw, real shit, like cow shit. Picking this stuff up, pulling out the straw, everything you got to do. Shovels pig shit. Because let me tell you, that's an eye opener. Yeah, get real. The world is real, and I think a lot of people are missing it. And I think we're seeing it even more now with quarantines, with lockdowns, with this pandemic.
Because you lean on it.
Well, you do. And we had our interview with Terry and Julia, and we talked about the New Beverly Cinema and why people love movies, what makes it all great. Her documentary on why it's important to have these little cinemas. And here's the thing. Most people go to these cinemas not thinking how important this is for film, right?
Right.
Or how important it is to experience this with other people. They go just because they want to go. But I think part of the reason subconsciously they want to go is because this real world interaction, rather than sitting at home watching it on your fucking phone or laptop or TV, you're out and about.
Yeah.
This is making it easier. It's making social media more important because you are keeping in contact.
Right. And I always feel guilty. I don't take even like a tenth of the amount of pictures that the friends and family that I have on Facebook apparently take, just like constantly walk through life with their phone in front of them taking pictures. Apparently that's how it looks to me. And I'm like, gosh, should I be taking more pictures? No, I'm good. I like remembering things and, living moments as they happen.
I'm a photographer. I've taken almost no pictures in the last since I gave it up as a profession. Haven't even taken Midge's school picture. Right?
Yeah. We should do that when we get our hair done, though.
Yeah. Well, we were going to set something up in the living room.
Oh, yeah.
And cool. We don't want to use the natural back. Oh, well, because one, it's winter.
Yeah.
We missed the fall thing. But also with the pandemic, there wasn't really anywhere we could go. Before we used to go out and find a place and take a beautiful picture of her because, I'm a photographer, people. I'm not paying for those fucking Life Touch school photos. No. We take our own and they are beautiful.
They're nice, yeah.
Oh, not even say they're nice.
Well, they're beautiful. I love your pictures.
Listeners don't have the benefit of all of the little things that have gone on since all your little comments that sort of emasculate and
I'm not emasculating you. That's not my intention. That's not what I'm trying to
minimize.
No. All right. I'll stop being real. I'll stop being real with you. I'll just pander to your
It is
ego.
so fun. It has nothing to do with ego. God. I'm not running around like a 6-year-old. Look at this. Isn't this great? Isn't this great? Yeah. You know how many, I love you, but I'm kidding. It's great fun. Anyway, with the photos, what am I going to take a fucking picture of?
Me.
That's interesting.
I'm interesting.
I'm here with you. I live with you. I see you. Right. And even as a photographer, I never sat around the house with my cameras out. I don't know. To me, there's a limit. There's not a limit. There's a line you don't cross. And I like experiencing my life, my family.
Yeah.
Right.
Firsthand.
When I pick a camera up, I see through the lens. I see through the viewfinder. And that is not how I want to ever at all interact. Right.
Right.
With you, with Lily. That's not what we are about. So we have remarkably few pictures. You would think as a photographer, we'd have boxes and boxes or, terabytes and terabytes of stuff.
We have a very small handful of like family pictures or
Yeah.
even just like selfies that we take together.
Yeah. Just the
Very
occasional
few.
thing and like a shot from Christmas and, whatever.
When we were at the Mark Maron show a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. I prefer to remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, all those things are becoming very real
Mm-hmm.
and necessary. And this movie kind of touches on that a bit. Because the end of the world, I think you can equate to the pandemic as, this is an extreme circumstance.
And it does that, I think, without beating you over the head about it or making it too heavy. Like, it's still really fun.
Yeah.
It
is.
And you don't come away from it being like, okay, I guess they wanted to make me feel bad for, being on social media or whatever. That's not how.
As a horror comedy, or comedy horror,
I would say comedy horror.
it's okay. There's no slapstick,
No.
right? So the humor in this, what makes it a comedy, is well crafted. The dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
the interchanges and reactions are very genuine, but they're funny.
Their timing.
Yeah, and it's all just very cleverly done, well done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, as Alistair called, what did he call it? Damn.
I don't know.
Because he was talking about, just like stupid humor movies, Animal House, things like that.
Oh, sure.
And I enjoy those too.
Like puerile, potty humor.
Yeah, just kind of, there's like Three Stooges. I like watching the Three Stooges.
Sure.
They're not comedy masters, but they make me laugh. I like the Marx Brothers, but also like Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, all these people. James Cagney, when he rips a joke, is fucking hilarious. Humphrey Bogart's pulled off a few, like African Queen. He is just a fucking riot. I love what they did with him. And then all the way through, these two actors in this film have done an excellent job with the material.
Oh, yeah.
Making it seem very natural, making us laugh at moments, catching us off guard at others. I need my contacts.
What?
It just stopped my brain. It's just good fun.
It is.
It's well done. So yeah, the characters are believable. Development of them is consistent.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie, they don't change course. They just deal with each situation with the same level of either aptness or inadequacy. I think for me, the lesson would be quality. Again, this is low budget. It's a little more challenging than a single location.
Oh, yeah.
They had several.
Yeah.
Some extreme lighting, obvious circumstances, situations. But whatever money they had clearly went into gear and people with skill and, editing software. Because, boy, that shit can make or break. You can do everything right. And if you've got, oh, man, nobody thought to buy anything. Well, let's use some of the free stuff. It's not going to come out like you want. So they focused on, good level stuff.
Yeah.
And all the way through, from sound to lighting. The cinematography was great. I liked all the shots.
Yeah, the framing was really nice.
I was not distracted by artsy, gonna try this.
What's
stuff.
funny, because this movie is, poking fun of their desperate need to be authentic correctly, right?
Right.
But the movie itself, the film itself, feels very authentic.
Yes.
Naturally.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done.
Yes.
Writers, directors, actors, crew, everybody. It was fun. We encourage you to see it, not just for lessons, but for just pure fun. It's deserving of a watch. It should rank up in Hulu. I don't know how that even... It's such a mystery. What happens when you go to Hulu? nobody knows.
Right.
But anyway, so however it happens, help make it happen. You know, I think we've had a pretty good string of things that we've seen.
I think so.
Encouraging folks to get out there and watch these movies,
It scares me, though, because it means it's about time for a stinker, probably.
There's a stinker on the horizon.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe. I don't know.
So anyway.
With
that.
Yeah, with that.
You should go check out our website.
It's at www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com.
You can find all the things there, our blog, past episodes of this podcast, links to where you can find it on other platforms, and social media links, and a link to our Patreon page, which if you like our podcast and you want to support us, go check that out, because it would be cool to have some more patrons.
Yeah.
We work really hard on this podcast, and we've done over 70 episodes, and we do it every week. We've been really consistent, and we get a lot of views. So, I mean,
yeah. And I think I mentioned it before. We're popping up, on some new platforms. Getting huge numbers in India. I don't know why. We don't fit what looks to be the general program of the platforms, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Welcome. From any region. Some of them are just, they just kill me, like Russian Federation.
I don't know.
I'm like, are we actually, those all actually people listening to us? Or are there that many KGB agents tuning in? I mean, I don't know. What do you think you're going to get from us? Movie secrets. We don't have big hair.
I don't have big hair.
And film buffs will know what that means. Anyway. So, as you check us out and check out social media, again, check out the people we follow and the people following us. These are all fantastic people, most of which are creatives, filmmakers, writers, actors, or otherwise involved in the filmmaking process. Check them out, find out what they're doing, support indie films, support B movies, even though, B movies are, quote, studio films. Still, we need to let people know that these are some of the best films out there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though a B movie by its birth rank is never going to make it to an Oscar, they're still mostly better than a lot of the Oscar winning things. So show them it matters and show appreciation for the people who make them, star in them, worked on them. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And
show a little love.
Yeah. When things open up, we're going to keep saying this. When we are able to come out of the basement, folks, go to the theaters, go not to the big chains, find the little rinky-dink theater, go see whatever it is they're showing. Just go, if you have never done it, go experience it for once.
Support them.
Yeah. Support them. Because you should. You should. We also have a lot of podcasters that we follow and follow us. Check them out. We have the Horror Movie Survival Guide with Julia and Terry.
The Disc Dump with Miles.
Yep.
Liam's Killer Soup podcast.
And there's a lot more that I can't remember, but I do try to forward and, retweet and stuff and get people going. Listen to them. A lot of them are new. Some of them are well established. Some are in between. Yeah. And, same thing. We're all doing this. Give a listen. Expand your mind a bit.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should. I think pilot season. I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask. Like 4 times a year, I get a notification that it's pilot season.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure when actually is the real pilot script shopping season anymore.
4 times a year, apparently.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. So focusing mostly on our writers. Get out there and write. If you need to start dumping your shit on somebody's lap, go to stage32.com.
They got a lot of webinars and stuff. I know recently they put up a webinar with a Netflix exec saying, this is what we look for in pitches.
guess who registered for that on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central?
Oh, good, because I was going to tell you to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm way ahead of you.
let's just knock out our honeydew communication while we're doing this podcast.
Yep. Already going to be on be tuned into that. It's a window to get into an otherwise gated community.
Yeah.
For Hollywood, independents don't have to worry about that because they're doing their own thing.
And you can have an account on Stage 32 for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything to join.
Make your own choices. Try to make some connections. Because there's tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of creatives out there of all kind. Find your tribe, build a community, make some connections, because whether you're looking to get in on the ground floor and hit it running in the great big Hollywood machine, or if you are looking to storm forward as an independent, fuck the mainstream and do your own thing. Either way, you need a tribe, you need connections, you need to make as big of a circle as you can. That's one way to do it. There are others, but if you haven't gotten started yet, it's a perfect place to start. Okay? And no, we don't get paid anything for talking about anybody. We do it because if you don't share information, then you're just kind of a dick. That's how we view it.
Maybe if we say this podcast is sponsored by Stage 32, eventually they'll sponsor us.
No, I think what they would do is RB would have his legal department call us and saying, quit saying that shit.
Probably.
And not to be a dick, but that's just good business, right? People can't say you sponsored them. It's just wrong. Anyway, so here's the end of the episode. Everybody, keep wearing your masks. Line up for your shots if you're selected. I don't know how this is going anymore. It's like they're starting to lose grip on prioritizing groups and phases and stuff. Now we've got people starting their own injection centers and stuff. So all I'm going to say about that is be careful. Do your homework at least.
Yeah.
You're getting a vaccination against a deadly virus. I would think you would at least put the same effort you would into buying a car. Research where you're going.
Right.
If it's not from the hospital, if it's not from, your job, right? You're a frontliner and they're coming in with people to do this. Just, do your homework and make sure it's not some dick trying to scam, because those fuckers are out there.
Yeah.
In every emergency situation, there's always somebody trying to fuck everybody over for money.
Well, I know my second dose. So my day job is it's an essential or, business. And so there have been some vaccinations. So my second one's going to be next week.
Yeah.
And based on my reaction from the first one, I'm guessing that Thursday and Friday of next week are going to be me being real whiny. And
you might want to take one of those days to recoup.
Yeah.
I've got the kid.
Yeah.
I've got the house. I've got everything. You can just stay in there and sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep through the side effects.
Maybe I'll preemptively take the day off.
It might not be a bad idea.
It might not. Maybe I'll just take those two,
I'll do both. Yeah. Because that was rough.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't terrible. For listeners who are worried about it, I mean, I can talk through real quickly. I was sleepy. My arm hurt real bad. Those are both totally normal things.
Right. And yeah, I'm not saying you were seeing double and cramping and doubling over and splitting headaches and stuff.
Right.
But
I was just wore. I was exhausted.
But
I was tired, man.
But having sleepiness or, exhaustion that you can't shake.
Yeah.
That's like one of the top things that you don't want to get during a work day. It makes it hard.
It does.
It is hard. And then you add in the constant muscle pain, because especially if you're like you, moving your arms a lot.
Well, gosh, the way my arm hurt, I couldn't imagine being a nurse or a CNA or someone on the front lines having to carry people, lift stuff, move people around. I was like, oh man, it's a real struggle to get up to my keyboard, man.
Yeah, just, stay on top of the shot situation.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your masks, keep social distancing. Let's not pretend this shit's going to end in a week or two. Let's just keep going, because if we do, we're going to get to the end of this finally.
Yeah.
Just patience, folks, patience. And in the meantime, make shit, shoot shit, write shit, paint shit, record shit, make music, do all kinds of shit. Have a shit spree.
Take a shit if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Why
not? And keep doing that until next week, when we will hit you with another episode. Some good lessons. Maybe a good film. I'm starting to feel it now. So
you're worried now. You've got the thing.
I'm worried we're going to be like 3/4 of the way through. Like, what a colossal fucking letdown this was. Those are lessons.
It's like your bum knee acting up before the weather starts to get bad. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
In my body about this next movie. I don't even know what it is yet. We haven't picked it.
I don't know. You guys kicked my ass at poker the other night, so.
Oh yeah, I don't usually do that well, but I did pretty well.
Yeah, I did shit, man. I was gone. All right. Anyway, so B-Siders, thank you again for listening. Stay safe, stay creating, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, we will.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.